So we want to take a minute to come out to this alfalfa field here and take a look at a couple things. I'm George, and this is Don. We're both from Heartland Feeds. So Don is an agronomy consultant with us. This is a field located just northwest of Lacombe at Nielsen Dairy, owned by Jeff and Debbie Nielsen here. And yeah, this tremendous crop of alfalfa, and wanted to talk a little bit about what these folks have done to make this crop successful, and give a little bit of history on management and varieties. So this crop would have been planted in the spring of 2023, roughly 18 pounds per acre. And yeah, Don can talk a little bit more about varieties and a couple things that were done out here to make this crop look so well.
This alfalfa crop here is from Quality Seeds. The variety name is Dominator 2. It's a multifoliate variety with a tap root. There is also 5% grass in this mixture, and it's a tall fescue. Adding grass usually helps dry down the crop a little bit in the swath. Just helps get to that better moisture level before silaging. It's a great haylage variety. It's early maturing and has very fast regrowth to it between cuts. Alfalfa is great in rotation. So one of the benefits of alfalfa is the nutritional facts, which George will talk about here in a bit. But there is an agronomic fact that it does contribute a lot of nitrogen to the soil. So when this crop is retired and we're looking at putting in another crop such as corn or cereals, there will be a nitrogen credit here, a significant nitrogen credit, where it'll benefit that crop and save the grower money on nitrogen fertilizers. So this crop was also seeded with a Gootler, which is a direct seeding piece of equipment that allows great seed to soil contact. Establishment was great. This was black seeded, which means there was no use of a cover crop such as barley or anything like that, and it established very well. So in some years, by black seeding, you might see a little bit of weed pressure. It's not a big deal. Silaging will usually take care of that in the establishment year. In subsequent years, you'll see a crop like this where there's very little weed pressure.
So as mentioned, this crop was seeded in the spring of 2023. Looking at last year, this field, there was 3 cuts pulled off it. There was a real big consideration on actually taking a 4th cut on this. One thing that we discussed as a group and with Jeff was to just take 3 cuts, let a little bit of regrowth to prevent winter kill. Something that we're looking at this spring, I think that paid off really well. First cut was tremendous. And looking at this, this is about just over a month of regrowth here. Staging wise, this will come off probably in the next week and a half, I would say. Yeah, tremendous regrowth here. Getting aggressive on cuts is something that is definitely beneficial from an inventory standpoint, but taking into consideration winter kill in our area here, I think it was the right call to not take that 4th cut. So pulling some plants out of the field, you can see that the plants are very green and healthy. There's a good amount of leaf on this variety here as well too. The leaf is what contributes to your protein. So one thing we were seeing in some dry areas during first cut was these bottom leaves would start burning off and falling off the plant, which reduces your protein level in your crop and increases your fiber levels. So in general, these plants are very healthy, and the fertility program has been working well here. Talking with Jeff, he got about 3/4 of an inch of rain over the weekend here, which has been good. These plants are roughly 29 inches tall, so there's definitely some yield potential here. So one thing which is a hot topic of conversation around silage staging is bud development in alfalfa. So you can see here this crop has developed its buds. So going pre-bud, you're going to get a very highly digestible plant and very high protein, but you'll be losing yield potential on that crop. So for dairy silage, what we're looking at is the bud. You can see that there's no pigment there. So once you start seeing flowering or purple pigment, you're reducing your NDF digestibility and also your protein, but you're gaining on your yield standpoint. So traditionally, what you see is dairy producers will go a little bit earlier than traditionally a beef producer would, just from a yield standpoint.
In addition to Dominator 2, they do have a Dominator 3 through Quality Seeds, and it has increased winter hardiness yet. Something they're working on and have worked on in the past, and it's been issues in other areas of the country, but plant breeding and genetics have really improved, and we're seeing what we see today on this crop. Quality Seeds has several varieties we can recommend. Like I say, from core stem to fine stem varieties, and branch rooted and tap rooted as well.
So one thing that's unique with Heartland Feeds and our approach to alfalfa is the opportunities to select different varieties of alfalfa and grasses to help with your farm and management practices and goals. So Don, can you tell us a little bit more about the different varieties of alfalfa and how they characteristically fit and how grass impacts stands as well too?
Sure. So there's the wide variety of alfalfas include everything from a core stem varieties to fine stem varieties, and core stem varieties are more suited for haylage, and the finer stem varieties are more suited for the dry hay. In addition to that, uh, we can do blends of alfalfa that may be more digestible for haylage. That includes uh, products like HG Boost with Dominator. We usually do that at a 50-50. We have another variety of called Legacy, which is a dry hay variety. It's a combination of Truman alfalfa and Shield alfalfa.
So one thing that I think it would be good for you to touch on, Don, is the different root systems that we have available in these different varieties of alfalfa and where they're good fits in different areas.
Sure. So tap-rooted varieties like Dominator 2 here, they work really well in in tougher soil conditions, I should say, where we have heavier clay, maybe soils that are prone to hardness or solonetzic soils to a certain degree. Tap roots work deep into the soil and help break up that soil profile. Um, Not limited to the problem soils at all, but like a tap root can work very, very well on a deep black, high organic matter soil as well. Um, to that, though, what comes to mind is soil acidity. Alfalfa doesn't like soil acidity too much. Anything below 6.3 pH is not recommended. The ideal pH for alfalfa is between 6.5 and 7.5. The other type of root system for alfalfa is a branch root system, and those roots tend to be more rhizomic, and where they'll shoot out rhizomes and new plants from the original plant uh, horizontally through the soil profile. So varieties such as Truman that have that branch root style, uh, they they can survive more grazing conditions, foot traffic from cattle, so to speak, and and also wetter conditions as well because they have more surface area to grow in. And another topic of discussion with alfalfa is winter hardiness. We do see it from time to time when there's low snow cover in the winter, uh, and we also have cold temperatures. So winter kill can affect the crop, and what you'll see is deadness in the spring, and it'll be a patchy effect, and basically the crowns of those alfalfa plants have frozen off and caused that plant to die.
One thing that we're constantly looking at is different alfalfa and grass varieties that perform well in our area here in central Alberta. Um, Working with Quality Seeds, they've done a tremendous job sending us seed to try different varieties and plots for us to evaluate and communicate back to them on what's working well. One thing that we're very excited about is the HG Boost variety. So that's a low lignin, high digestible alfalfa variety. So for dairy producers, what we're seeing is higher intakes on cattle,
In
but
addition to
yet
Dominator 2,
delivering a very
they
high
do
plane
have a
of
Dominator 3 through
protein and
Quality
digestible
Seeds,
fiber.
and it
So
has
it's
increased winter
something that we're
hardiness
putting
yet.
into to blends.
Something they're
So as
working on
Don
and have worked on
mentioned,
in the past,
we're blending it off
and
with
it's been issues in
Dominator, so a
other areas
very
of the country,
aggressively
but
growing
plant
variety.
breeding and genetics have really improved, and we're seeing what we see today on this crop.
So the alfalfa varieties that we're working with from Quality Seeds are grown and produced here in Western Canada. So seed production's happening in southern Saskatchewan, southern Alberta, and northern Alberta.